It's July the 10th, 2024. I am Actual Pearl. In the words of my kid, I'm back. Jeremy Lambert's here as well. How you doing, Jeremy?
Your kid doesn't say that. I met your kid.
That's true. He doesn't say much when he's around new people he doesn't know. Other than no daddy, and then pushes you away.
Are we doing this already? Jeez.
It's so early. We never stop. Oh, God. Anyway, good morning. I'm back. I took Monday off. I know.
Joe ran from the grind on Monday.
I ran from the grind. I'll get this right out of the way. I was a capital B burnt out by Saturday night.
A capital what burnt out?
Capital B burnt
capital
out.
Yeet.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna hit it again when I said burnt out. Yeet. Anyway, we didn't do enough of the eating, except for that one bit during the library show.
That's what got us kicked out.
That may have been what got us kicked out. Did you talk at all? I didn't listen. Full disclosure, didn't listen to Monday's show. I was most of my afternoon was spent in my bed playing Nintendo Switch games, mostly
nice.
The original Mario Kart and Crash Bandicoot.
That must be nice.
It was
playing
nice.
Video games like?
For the first time in several months, not bad. It's been a very busy time. So yeah, I felt burnt out. Needed a day. Did you talk at all about the weekend in Toronto when you were on Monday?
Not really, because we kind of did all that on Saturday. There wasn't a whole lot to talk about Saturday to Sunday because I wasn't there. So
yes. So Jeremy went home shortly after our live show.
I went to go spend time with my family.
What's that like?
I mean, well, you played video games. You ignored your family yesterday, Joel. You played video games instead.
My family was working. My child was at daycare. It was what it was. Yeah. So Saturday. So how can I preference this? So Thursday came around. Jeremy showed up in town. We went to the Sami Zayn show, which we talked about on the Saturday live stream. I'm sorry, by the way. That was a very interesting experience. But anyway, the live show, we loved it. We talked about it on the Saturday show. Had a great time. That was Thursday. Got home late, went to sleep, woke up early the next morning to do the media junket on Friday. Did the media junket of Friday, and then we were like, okay, let's go edit and upload stuff. Toronto Wi-Fi sucks, so we spent the better part of our day trying to upload things. So basically Friday was like this huge shit show because the WWE media stuff, it was so late, and it started late, and it ended late, and it was a big rush of things. It was a whole can of worms. The interviews that I did, I don't think were the best I've ever done. I had very limited time and very limited questions. So that was that. I didn't get to do Chelsea Green's interview. That was very upsetting. Wish I had. But anyway, I digress. That night was GCW, and we told the story already on the show that we got into GCW very late. So again, there was a lot of Friday hurry up and wait, and that just really sucked. Got home. We got back at around 1 a.m., woke up at 6, and then Saturday was the live show. We had what we had at the library with the issue with the getting kicked out an hour early and the frustration there. And then we all went for lunch as a family, which was very nice. Shout out to Fran's on College Street. We had a good time. What? No. What? Wasn't a good time? You didn't like it?
I don't think the waitress liked me.
I don't think she likes any table more than 2. We brought 7.
So here's the real story of the weekend, everybody. So we go to this place. The food was actually very good. But they have iced tea, and they have like raspberry, blueberry, I don't know, all this flavoring stuff you put in tea. Like, who'd possibly care? And I think it was Emily who was going to order a tea. And then the waitress is like, oh, we have sweet tea. And me, the Southerner, I'm like, wait a second, you got sweet tea? She's like, oh, yes, it's very sweet. And I was like, I'll be the judge of that. And I don't think she liked me after that. Because my drink not only she brought 6 drinks. Mine was not present. She brought JPJ a coffee that he did not order before I got my sweet tea. I finally get my sweet tea. Listen, folks, lemon tea is not sweet tea. Brisk, which I'm pretty sure this was just brisk.
Oh, it was. I can guarantee
That
you. It's a Pepsi dispensary. It's a brisk.
That's not sweet tea. A bunch of lemon, half tea. It's called a lemon tea. It's not sweet tea. Don't lie to me and say, oh, yeah, we got really sweet tea, and then bring me a fucking lemon tea. I was offended. And then, Joel, the gratuity was added in, and I was very upset about that because I was going to give no tip. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Nice, but
I hope you're kidding. Jesus. For those who are like, he's afraid of the grind. So part of the reason why I was so burnt out is because I was also playing a home court game, which means I was also trying to take care of my family. And while trying to take care of my family and do all of these events and do all of these shows, and also show around our friends who are visiting from other outlets, they're not from here, they've never been here in some cases, I definitely ran myself into the ground. So running on 5 hours of sleep, multiple hours of the weekend, did a number on me. Jeremy left, he went home, and then I went to Money in the Bank, hung out with JPJ that afternoon. That was fun. We had a nice conversation in my living room.
Nice fellow, JPJ.
Oh, they're great. The Love Wrestling crew are all fantastic, except for that Zach guy.
Yeah.
Can't believe he doesn't like Limp Bizkit or Mile. Anyway, not important. I got to Money in the Bank, and those who saw anyone's footage, they put us up in the 750th level in the press box, which I'd never been in the press box at Scotiabank Arena before in Toronto. And now I know I'll never want to go again. But I sat up there, hung out on the Discord. Shout out to our Fightful Select Discord, and just shared the experience, had fun, doing the thing. I was paying attention to the show, watching where I could. But after that, did the presser, tried to get a question off. I had several questions for everyone who was there. I had 4 or 5 set for CM Punk. And I watched as one by one, they all got tipped off from me. And then this was the worst part. I haven't told the story publicly yet. I don't think I even told you the story.
I've not been told any of this information.
The producer, the same one who, I don't know if you guys were hearing this on the press conference, the woman who was trying to say last question, and John and CM Punk kept saying, no,
Yeah, I thought it was Kathy Kelly.
It wasn't Kathy Kelly. No, she's a producer. She's just she's a behind the scenes producer wearing a headset. Like it was not a host. This was someone who worked backstage for the company, and it was very funny to watch. She's jumping around. She's trying to not only get people's attention, but also get microphones out so that they could ask questions, so on and so forth. You would have seen her at least once during the press conference if you watched it. Anyway, so she's standing right behind me because I'm sitting towards the back of the room, and they're like, give it to the WWE communications guy says to give it to Joel. He's got a question for CM Punk. And then they're like, okay, the last question. This is before they actually say it. Thankfully they didn't, because I was like, all of mine have been asked, and I'm like, I'm exhausted. I didn't have anything in the chamber. And that is like the dumbest possible way to feel and be, especially as someone who is as prepared as I am. I felt so stupid because I was being given the option to do the last question for CM Punk, and I fudging whipped it because all my questions got asked, and I just didn't have anything left in the tank. And afterwards, of course, I have a million. So I turned to the PR guy and I was just like, if you can give me one for Paul, that would be a huge help. See what I can do. Obviously it didn't happen. And then they get to Paul Levesque. All the questions are asked. The very last question, I'm actually happy that it was asked. That last question was very similar to the one that I had for Paul. And that was about John Cena's retirement, how it came about, when the discussion started, things like that. And then I was also going to tack on the how involved creatively are you going to be in this particular, next year with John Cena. Obviously that last part is kind of a throwaway. I'm chief creative officer, I'll do the whatever. But I still wanted to get the idea, when did it start? Unfortunately, didn't get to ask it, but someone else did, so I didn't feel so bad. But I was just capital B yeet burnt. And then we did Sunday. Sunday was a little more chill. Spent it with family, then met up with our good buddy Adrian Hernandez. Shout out to Adrian. We had Nuho King. I'm sorry, Jeremy, you weren't there. Delicious meal. Oh my God. Prices have not changed as much as I thought. Food is plentiful, wonderful. Shout out Nuho King. Kendrick's favorite spot. Don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. It's my favorite spot. And then we went to NXT. And NXT was great. We had tickets, no pizza. Good time. Got home by 10:30.
No pizza.
Yeah, in the press box on Saturday, they had pizza and cookies.
Oh.
They had proper catering, which I knew they would because they weren't gonna. They didn't. I don't think they did it on Friday because we weren't at SmackDown. But I know for sure that they did it on the Saturday. They had pizza, which is really just cardboard. Shout out to pizza, and then the cookies are always good. They do some kind of homemade cookies. They're very good, and drinks, not alcoholic. I think I wasn't drinking.
And then you ran from the grind on Monday.
Then I ran from the grind on Monday because I woke up and I was feeling miserable. I was not in a good headspace. And I'm like, if I go on this show and I talk, I'm going to say things I will absolutely regret. So,
Good, that would have been great.
Nope, not something I wanted to do.
Coward.
So Jeremy, thank you for grabbing SP3 and doing the things.
He was mad at me for messaging him so late. Like, I messaged you and I found out.
Fair. He should just come after me. SP3 should. I'd ignore him, but you know. Someone saying excuses for skipping work. Buddy, if we're not, no. You know what? Not going to say
Cyclops is better than Wolverine's a regular. He's just fucking with you.
I know he is because he also replied to me on Twitter about it. And I was like, I know you're messing with me. Some people don't. So you're cool. Don't worry about it.
I'm not messing with you. I'm dead serious when I'm calling you out about this stuff. So, Joel, want to do 5 shows a week?
Get me a sponsor and $100 a day in super chats at least.
If you drink enough alcohol, you can get your own sponsor.
That is true. Shout out to Wheatley's Vodka. 5 cups and you're in. All you got to do is win the Royal Rumble, sit there on your bus, 5 cups, and you're good.
Did you know Wheatley's is so good you can drink it neatly?
I didn't because I have never heard any promotional material for Wheatley's.
That's a catchy little jingle they got going on there.
That's fair. They were giving out free C4 energy drink at the shows, apparently. But I only saw them by NXT.
They probably needed it.
Probably. Although by the end of the weekend, people were pretty happy. NXT was a fantastic show. The idea of wrapping a show by 10 p.m. Eastern, aces in my.
So good. Love NXT.
I got home by 10:30. I was just ecstatic. I was so happy.
I covered NXT, and the MILF Manor is on Sundays at 10. For those that don't know, I was like, this NXT show will start at 7. It'll be done by 9:30. We'll have plenty of time to chill before the MILF Manor starts. And what do you know? Starts at 7, done around 9:30. Had some time to decompress before MILF Manor start. Fantastic. Love the NXT shows. Every single show should be like that. 2.5 hours. If you can't get your wrestling show done in 2.5 hours, reevaluate things.
Oh, absolutely. And we sat down at 7:00 in our seats for that show. We saw the pre-show on NXT, and we saw the pre-show match with Ariana Grace and Kaden Katana versus Nyx and JC Jane. And we sat down, it was maybe 10:02, and we're like, oh yeah, this show is going to be over by 9:30. We get to the main event and it's like 9:00. And I'm like, oh God, they're going to go a tight 25 with intros and we'll be out, we'll be out before 10. And we were. Everyone was happy, myself included. It was a good time.
Booker of the year, Shawn Michaels.
I mean, it helps that the NXT show was also just a solid show. Wrestling wise, everything was good. Just about everything was good. I quite enjoyed it. So got to tell you, that was a fun show. And then they topped it last night for the TNA fans. All 3 of us had a blast. So, we'll talk a little bit about that. We got plenty of wrestling to talk about and plenty to get there. While we're waiting, let's get it right now. The thumbs up. If you haven't done it yet, go ahead, get in there. Thumbs up on the video. And of course, subscribe to the channel here at youtube.com/FightfulOverbooked and donate a super chat. Any amount of question or statement read on the air. How about in about 15 or so minutes, we bring on a guest? How about that?
Sure.
You want to do that? We'll do that. About 15 minutes. Someone who pops in quite frequently, whose name is not Andrew Zarian, they're going to join us. So come and stick around. You'll know exactly who it is. It's CM Punk. He's bringing muffins. Gonna ask him all the questions he was already asked on Saturday.
You should have asked CM Punk about the Hawk Tua girl.
Why?
I don't know. Seems like everybody's talking about her.
Apparently, there's
CM Hawk Tua.
See Hawk Tua Punk.
That's our guest. C Hawk Tua.
See Hawk Tua. That's gonna get used. That's gonna get used, and we're so screwed. Okay, here. Okay, do not use it. Okay, don't go on Twitter and do not tell him that we started that.
Well, he's gonna learn when he shows up in 15 minutes, and I use it.
Oh, way to give up the guest. Yeah, Cameron Hawkins is going to join us in about 15 minutes. We got a lot to talk about.
No one spoil it yet.
Yeah, nobody tell him. Nobody at sorry. Nobody at Seahawk and tell him. The Chicago Blackhawk to us. It's just oh god. Well, they do need a new logo. Anyway.
You should have just asked CM Punk about the Blackhawks. He would have been happy with that.
The problem
been a nice,
is
happy ending.
Yeah, but the problem is I'm a Sens fan, and we weren't in Ottawa. They were in Ottawa on Monday. Shout out to my hometown. They did okay. As good as they could do. And then what else? The Raw was good, but we were in Toronto. I want to talk about the Maple Leafs with Chicago's own CM Punk. It's awful. Nobody likes any of the teams in Toronto.
You should have asked them of like Mr. Punk. I don't know if that's what you call him. Mr. Punk, how do you feel about costing Drew McIntyre the World Heavyweight title? And he's never going to win a title, just like the Toronto Maple Leafs are never going to win a title. Do you feel like you are the Tampa Bay Lightning of WWE? Or who beat the Leafs this year? The Panthers beat them this year.
Everyone's beaten the Leafs at one time or another, but sure.
I forgot who beat them. I think the Bruins. The Bruins beat them this year.
I thought it was the Panthers who beat them this year.
No. The Panthers, I think, beat them last year. The Panthers beat them in the second round a couple years ago. Yeah.
Gotcha. So wait, I wonder, is it whoever beats the Leafs in their round wins the cup the following year? Is that how it goes?
I don't think so.
We should probably look back. I doubt it. I doubt it.
So you should have asked them. You should have asked, like, how do you feel about being the Boston Bruins and treating Drew McIntyre like the Toronto Maple Leafs? Working a hockey reference. He would have loved you.
It's true.
He might have gotten some food out of it. He might have. What was he eating? Tim Hortons?
Yeah, he had Tim Hortons donuts. I don't want any of that.
They weren't bad. I had Tim Hortons.
Boston cream donuts from Tim Hortons. They're good. That's about it.
I had the Toronto Blue Jays donut.
Which is just sadness and pain. Like, did they load it up with the shards of glass?
I don't know. It got like sprinkles, and it was it wasn't a custard, almost like a whipped cream in the middle.
It's like it's a big blast of like really rich flavor at the beginning, and then it's a big letdown in the middle. But then at the end, it picks up again, and it just kind of backs its way into a parking spot, aka a playoff spot. That's the Toronto Blue Jays.
I get it. I don't know. I don't follow baseball.
Yeah, no, but you can tell that's the Jays' MO every year.
Okay. I thought it was good. I had the 10 bits as well. I had the honey 10 bits. Yeah.
My God.
They weren't bad.
Wow. You had more Tim Hortons than I do in a year.
Well, I went to the Hockey Hall of Fame, and then I was hungry after the Hockey Hall of Fame. There was the Tim Hortons right there. So I was like, oh, I'm in Canada. I got to have Tim Hortons.
Yeah, those 5 minutes at the Hall of Fame really did you good.
I tried to get a hot dog from A&W, and they were out of buns. And I was like, well, I don't want a naked glizzy. So I decided.
Now, hold on. Let's be honest. The reason that happened was because it was 12:30 at night.
So
they were going to have the buns at that hour.
Why not?
I don't know. Apparently,
if you're open 24 hours, you should have the buns.
You should have the stock. I'm more surprised that they had, any of those hot dogs, considering they're hot dogs.
At an A&W hot dog at 12:30, and I couldn't get one because they had no buns.
Did you end up going again? No. What did you end up going again to A&W? No.
No, I did. No. You had A&W
I
on
had AEW,
Saturday.
for breakfast
I
before
had
we
Tim
went.
Hortons again. I had the breakfast burrito, which wasn't bad.
Yeah. Tim Hortons food is not good.
Not
good.
It's cheap and digestible.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. The second part, that stuff will sit in you for weeks before you realize what you ate. Oh man. Anyway, I don't want to get too deep into anything just because Cam's going to be joining us in a few minutes. But what is there anything else from the weekend that needs to be touched on that we need to discuss?
Well, I want to address. We like Kim. Kim left us a comment about. Now I can't find it because of course I can't. But
In our chat?
Yeah, in our chat.
Where the hell was that?
Was it deleted?
No, I haven't touched it. I just don't see it.
Oh, well, maybe. Oh, here it is.
Okay. Kim. I thought you said Cam.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
So
my mouse just died. Good timing.
Oh. Hey guys, don't murder me for this opinion. That would not be good. Normally, all for asking the superstars about the Vince stuff. I was a little ticked that someone asked Cena. It was a big day with the retirement. Who asked that? Pollock? Wasn't Pollock who asked Cena?
Pollock asked that, and then
Thurston asked Triple
Paul.
H. Yeah. I don't think any question should have been off the table or should have been not fair to John Cena. I understand it's his retirement, but that's where you get into Triple H after WrestleMania of like, oh, we just want to focus on the positives. Cena answered it the way he answered it. That's fine. That's his right. He didn't have to answer it. But I don't think any question like that should be off. Cena has had some opinions on Vince, and the opinions are what they are. But he should be asked that kind of stuff the same way Triple H should be asked that kind of stuff. Because if you continue to just like, oh, I'm not going to ask about this because we're just going to focus on the retirement. Oh, I'm not going to ask about this because we're just going to focus on what a great night of wrestling we have. Okay, well then when are we going to ask these questions? Because Cena's going to do a bunch of media, I'm sure, on this tour over the next year, but it's going to be a lot of mainstream outlets who probably aren't going to ask. Like, if you are somebody like John Pollock who is probably not going to get a one-on-one interview with John Cena, he's probably never going to get a chance to ask John Cena a question. So why wouldn't he use this opportunity to ask this question that I think people wanted to know about? And Sean always says this: people have different beats, right? Some people are just there to create some content, get some silly stuff, praise everything, and that's fine. We know John Pollock's beat. We know Brandon Thurston's beat. They do a lot of research and do a lot of coverage of this lawsuit. They have talked to Ann Callis. They've talked to a bunch of different people on this. This is something that they have covered extensively. So I'm not surprised that Pollock asked that question. I'm not surprised that Thurston asked that question. I don't begrudge them at all for asking those questions. That is something that they have, again, covered a lot. So I had no issue with it. I know people got up in arms. Like, that's fine. I don't even know if it's up in arms, but like, you're not going to win with this kind of stuff because and this is not directed at Kim, who is fantastic. It's directed at just a bunch of dorks on Twitter. You're not going to win with this stuff because you either ask the question and it's like, you shouldn't ask the question because it's supposed to be a celebration. You're supposed to focus on this, or you don't ask the question. And people are like, why didn't you ask the question? You're supposed to be a journalist. Like, you can't win with this stuff.
Yeah, I don't have much to add on that. I was sitting across from Brandon Pollock and Brandon Thurston.
Pollock.
Yeah, I know. Jackson Pollock. And anyway, I was sitting across from Brandon Thurston and John Pollock, two people that I very much admire in this business and in this sphere. I think that the work they do is incredible. And I think that they are very good at doing it. At this being their beats. There's nobody better at being this this well-informed and this investigative. Those questions should be asked. I sat there and I watched them ask, and you know what? I felt uncomfortable for a second. I did. And I think everyone in that room should have felt uncomfortable for a second. And then I think everyone in that room should be looking back and saying, no, that's a question that needs to be asked. WWE is still named in that lawsuit. WWE is still a part of it. John Cena had a very close relationship with Vince McMahon and has gone on record about his feelings towards the allegations towards Vince McMahon. Feel how you will about it. We've talked about it on our show about how we felt about John Cena's comments on Howard Stern when asked about it. This was an opportunity for John to say either something different or something that was a little more clarifying when it came to his comments, and he chose not to. That's his prerogative. He has that opportunity to say or not say something. So for him not to say something, that's fine. I'm not going to hold it against John Cena. He did the classic, I'm only going to focus on the right now. That's a PR, that's a PR standard. I'm not going to hit him for that, but I am going to praise John Pollock and Brandon Thurston for asking questions of both Triple H and of John Cena, because the moment, like I said, the moment we all felt uncomfortable was a moment that we all needed to feel uncomfortable, because there is a reality to this whole wrestling thing that is dirty and sometimes seedy and needs to be addressed. And if no one else is going to do it, then it gets swept under a rug and everything continues again. I understand time and a place, but I also understand that this is the time and the place, because you don't always get this candid opportunity, as kayfabe vortex as it is, to go off and answer or ask these questions of these guys. So.
Do you think WWE PR like looks at the list of people and they see like Pollock, Thurston, and they're like, all right, we, just in case they get the microphone, here's what you got to say.
So, okay. So I will pull the curtain back, because I don't think that this is going to, I don't want people getting the wrong idea when I talk about this. WWE are looking for people to ask questions, and they do, as they go to the panel, they're asking us in the back who has a question for the next person. We all raise our hand, and there's a mental note that's being taken from the front of the room and the back of the room from WWE's communications team as to who they want to answer questions. Some of it is because they know the person and have a rapport. Some of it is because they want to put someone different on screen. There are some people that they know they don't want to do this with. However, this is a very interesting thing, I think, when it comes to Pollock and Thurston. And I don't want anyone reading too far into this, as I seem to have already done. I think they see those two guys and they know that they're in a really weird catch-22. If they don't let them have a question, then people say, why can't they have a question? Are you just, wasting time? But if they do give them a question, then the not the reality, but like the authenticity of, we let anyone in the room with questions as journalists into the room, that comes through.
It's not necessarily that. It's not who gets picked on a question. What my joke is, WWE PR sees who's on the list. They see Pollock and Thurston, and so they go to the talent who's at the press conference, and they're like, all right, guys, you might get asked this. Here's your answer. They're coaching the talent on what to say. I think since Royal Rumble especially, I do think that they have coached their talent. I do. I think that they at least smartly was like, can't talk about legal matters. All right, good job, buddy. At least you didn't completely, haven't read the lawsuit. That answer wasn't good.
We all spent months tearing that apart, rightfully so. And I think that, WWE saw that. I think that their comms team saw that and said, you got to do better. You can't, this can't look that way again. So as a result, I think there was some planning and preparation done as a result of knowing who's going to be in that room. Cause they do know everyone checks in. Everyone has to show their ID. They know who's coming.
Real quickly, Wyatt Sick6 saying, is there a point that responses start becoming redundant? Not saying that they shouldn't be asked, but it starts to remind me with people asking TK question when we know Howell's answer. Yes, this happened with Becky Lynch. I feel Becky Lynch got asked this question about 300 times about Vince when she was doing media with her book tour, and it was the same answer over and over and over again. And it's like, okay, it is getting a little redundant now. Difference here, Cena was asked once on the Howard Stern show months ago, and his answer was what it was. So I don't think it was unfair to try to circle back and see if he had something else. Triple H asked once at the Rumble, and his answer was, I haven't read the documents. I don't think it was unfair to circle back. I do think it becomes a little redundant if you, again, do 5 interviews in a week and in 3 of them you get asked this question, it's like, okay, you're not going to get a new answer out of this. But if it's been months since stuff has passed and there's been new information that has come to light with everything, and the opportunity also that you might not have compared to like Becky doing an entire book tour and everything, I don't think it's unfair to ask the question. Now, if Cena gets asked again tomorrow, then it's like, all right, he's not going to give a new answer. We can probably stop sort of beating that. So I get there's kind of a balance there, but in this case, I don't think it was out of line.
I also think relationships and location play a difference as well. They play a role because sometimes you're feeling a little looser, or maybe you're just wanting to say something just to add context, or just part of the conversation can change. But I don't think asking it 15 times in a row is necessarily the answer. Rolling back to it, absolutely. That's something that needs to be done. Speaking of rolling back to it, shall we roll back to the real crux of the conversation, the real reason we're here? The real reason we're here.
I don't know why we're here.
It's the next up lineup.
Oh.
The one and only Cameron Hawkins joins us this morning to talk about the best of the best right now in the wrestling sphere, according to Cam Hawkins. Good morning.
So much pressure. Hi, guys.
Yes, let's give you all the pressure. Make everything better in the wrestling world. You have 30 seconds and go.
Oh, my goodness. How is everyone this morning, right? Oh, my goodness. So much pressure. I blame Jeremy for
what I do.
Initial pressure.
Good.
I was like, a news release, a press release. Oh no. Oh no. There's real pressure. Oh my God. Oh man. Did you guys get a chance to glance at what I sent you just yet?
So I have it open in front of me as well.
Okay.
I don't think did I get sent anything?
I said in our group chat that I sent it to Joel. Joel just decided not to send it to you.
I had a busy morning.
Yes, I've not got sent anything. So
okay,
I was like,
check your inbox, Jeremy Lambert. Check your inbox.
Yeah, I was at the gym at like 5 a.m. I was like, yeah, let me shoot this over to the guys just in case they have time for me. But yeah, we are we're rounding third, man. We are right there at the end of where we need to be. Super fun project. I feel like Jeremy's glancing at it as we go.
I just got the email, so
yeah,
I'm pulling it up now.
Yeah, it's a I guess I should say what it is, right? The next up lineup. It's a project between myself and Lauren Moran. Basically, we took 5 wrestling talents from 5 different promotions and talked about why, I feel like they are kind of next up, why I feel like they're on the cusp of being big stars, all for different reasons. I really based it off of aesthetically one of my favorite movies, The Usual Suspects. You can see that with the lineup art. I went and did kind of full dossiers on each of the talents, and not just what you'd see in a Wikipedia of here's where they're from, here's how tall they are. It really got into the crux of why I think they're in the position they are. I did a sneaky thing. These are all talents I have a level of relationships with, and so I asked them things I don't think that they've been asked. And it was just to really bring out their personality, to see what got them to this point. What is their motivation? What is their mindset? And I made sure to put that information there in the dossier. And even more secretively, I got one of their peers to write about them as well. So you got some really cool quotes from people around them who they worked with. Just really singing their praises and why they think they're in the position they're in. The wonderful Lauren Moran understood kind of my vision on the project, made some really, really great art. And it was great in process. She's like, hey, here's a rough. And I was like, that's not a rough. That's going in the book. And so you can see as you look through it, Jeremy, if you look at the individual art pages, there is a pure black and white, then a really cool color, and then a Polaroid of each of them. If you look at the black and whites, that's initially what she said was like the rough. I'm like, no, you don't understand. That's what we're bringing out. It's the essence, and then it's the solid, and then it's the 3D. And so we really collaborated really heavy on that. The version that you guys have does not have like the individual links and Easter eggs that I put in the Best Wrestlers book, but that'll be in the final, a bunch of hidden stuff. So yeah, man, I'm really excited about it. Yeah, that's where we are.
I mean, it looks great. Like I'm glancing through it, and full disclosure, you and I, Cam, had some conversation about it before you sent us this, and I saw some of the artwork and I was blown away by it. Lauren does a fantastic job on everything she works on. This was no exception. So getting to see this was just blown away by everything that I've seen on this.
Yeah, it was a big thing on the first book. I didn't realize like how loose I was kind of playing it. Like I was just putting stuff together, but this is everything's formatted to the same size. It's super uniform. You should have seen me ripping through Adobe stock for like the file folders and then having to like cut it in half and putting a piece of paper on the side. Like it was really, really, really a fun project to work on, just getting into the details of everything, man. It was really cool. Again, salute to Lauren for the art, but it's also like, she'd send me like the individual pictures of the collages, and then I'm like, okay, this is where I'm going to put it, how I'm going to put it. It was a lot of fun. Like you should have seen me like making the Polaroids out of scrap. It was really great. And then again, the talent being so open, to trust me with something like this. And, a lot of them have seen the product, like Garcia, who doesn't talk, right? He kind of saw the whole thing because I can trust him with it. I got to show Kevin Knight over the weekend. I saw him on Sunday, so he got to look through it. Hyon's seen everything now, and she had no idea what was going on. You should have seen me like trying to tell Trick what I was doing without telling him what I was doing was really fun. But it's been a good response to it. I think they know that when I'm putting stuff together like this, or even doing interviews or writing for the Ringer or anything like that, it is with the talent's best interest in mind. And again, having a Lauren Moran in the pocket to make stuff like this pop, man, it's such a cheat code. So I'm excited, man. It's been a good response to the previews. I don't think people understand, like, even though this is a 25-page thing, like, you're going to be able to dive into this. Like, I don't know if you can find everything in a week and listen and watch everything in a week. So it does have some staying power, I think. I'm very, very excited for it.
The layout of it, that was the first thing that when I opened it, I was struck by it, like the file folder and everything. And then you mentioned the Easter eggs. I don't know. Can I spoil kind of the redacted stuff? I don't actually know who they are. I don't know who they are.
One's
kind of obvious. One's kind of obvious.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what stuck out to me is like you have witness and then like the name is sort of redacted, and then you mentioned like you spoke to people, and then I figured out a couple. One, again, very obvious, but I thought that was very cool. You mentioned the links and stuff that you'll be hiding throughout.
When you get to the last page, you'll see it'll be their first initial and last name, so it does give the game away.
Yeah.
But again, with the Easter eggs, it'll be links to. You should have seen me reaching out to the redacteds, like, okay, what do you want me to link to? And some of them are like, I don't know. And some of them are like, oh, you got to put this on. So yeah, like it's I've literally just worked on a really secret thing that I'm not going to say anything about. It's going to be kind of tough to find. But yeah, that was the whole thing. Like the Usual Suspects thing with Kaiser Soze and him looking at the bulletin board around the office to pull out these different ideas. So if you look at that bulletin board, as you read through, you'll get who each one is really talking about. I kind of passed this around at an indie show on Sunday. They were like, that's clearly Jordan because of like what they were. So yeah, man, it was stuff like this. I say I want to see more of, but to see more of it, you got to do more of it, So it was, it's a lot. I think each page has at least 11 links on it. I think like each of the dossiers at least. And so again, really diving into the personality, like some of these guys played college football. Here's their stats and their highlights, right? Some of them have wrestled in rooms, you've never seen. Here's a layout of that room. Some of them have relationships with people in the music industry. Here's where that came to play. So yeah, man, it's a lot. And writing books is like that's hand stock, man. I got a big book hand stock wrote. It's like 1,000 pages. I think my thing more in this lane right now, writing these, with the Ringer, I'm writing 2,000 words a pop. There's links and stuff attached to it. The staying power is in what you can find outside of what's clearly presented. And so I think that me watching more wrestling now on an indie level, I take the time to get to know these people. Like, I thought it was so flattering. I had a Money in the Bank watch party. Thank you to Greg Gibson, one of the owners of Kicking It, Sneaker Social in Austin and San Antonio. I met him at Big E's Big Brunch that he threw for Black media over WrestleMania weekend. And, Greg was like, Cam, I've been meaning to meet you. I've been wanting to work with you. So we got together, had a Money in the Bank watch party, and a couple of independent wrestlers who wrestle all throughout Texas, Danny O'Ryan and Maya World, they actually came to show love. And, they're like, Cam, we appreciate, what you do for our local scene. We appreciate you making sure that we are amplifying, we are seen. And that's what it's supposed to be on every level, I think. I think Trick Williams is dope. Here's what you need to know about Trick Williams. I think High On is dope. Here's what you need to know about High On. And these things can exist in the same space. And if one more person goes to a wrestling show, or one more person buys their merch, or one more person watches their video, then my job is done. This is what it should be about. This thing can get bigger. We got to find new ways to do it. I was, the MTV thing happened. I know you guys saw that, where the site was just taken down. One of the first people I talked to about it was Andrea Paredes, who produces the last couple of Wale Manias. She's WWE's go-to for their Good Morning Americas and their Jimmy Kimmels when you see Cena and Miz on there. And she's like, first 10 years of my career are gone. And I'm like, that's not supposed to happen, So more people need to make their own things. And so when I get a chance to, that's what I want to do, to show people it ain't hard. You take a month, find somebody who, like Lauren Moran, who understands your vision, and put it out. It ain't the hardest thing in the world. Everybody can't be Joel and Jeremy and have a great 3-day-a-week morning show that everybody taps into. There have to be other lanes and other avenues. And again, everybody also can't be Cam Hawkins from The Ringer and get to talk to your favorite wrestlers bi-monthly and put that out in the world on a big platform. But you don't have to be. You can make your own things, put them out in the world. If they're good, people will latch onto them. So just trying to show people that's possible.
Jeremy? Oh, did he just freeze?
Frozen.
I thought you were
locked him up.
Yeah, my internet it's been okay. Am I here?
You've been here, baby.
Okay, sorry. My
you
internet
live here.
is
It's okay.
awful, as usual. I mean, sometimes. Well,
he's just so enamored with the pages, is what it is. Yeah. He's just so stuck on what he's seeing. He can't move.
He's reading through.
I'm just gonna pray. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna praise Cam's creativity, because everything, every single page pops to me, no matter what. The wife is telling me that all of our 12 kids just got on their screens, so that's why the internet just crashed all at once, because now everybody's just online playing their video games. But yeah, every page just completely pops to me, and it's fantastic work, and it is something different. You definitely don't see this in the wrestling space. This is a complete compliment, and I figure you'll take this way, because I know you're close to this person, mentored a little bit by this person. It's very Shea Serrano, and
sure.
like it comes through with the layout and like how you put it all together. And as someone who has read all of Shea's books, like you can really see it in this project. And that's a very high compliment, because I think the world of his work. He's fantastic.
One of the first people I kind of sent everything to. I think one of the things we connect on is that love for like those 90s VHS movies, right? And so I definitely shot it over to him. He's tough to impress, but he likes it. But yeah, man, I think that's, I don't know, maybe it's a San Antonio thing. Maybe it's a way that we kind of see the world. We're from a big city that ain't a big city. We don't have a lot of things that are ours. And so we do make connections with things kind of outside of everything. Hey, shout out to homeboy, just sent you 100 of them bangs. Very nice. But yeah, absolutely. I think that there's a way that we look at things and want everything to connect, man. Like, it's just so much bigger than the results of the show and talking about how mad you are about another promotion on a podcast. I just don't think that, I don't know if it's a tangible thing for most people. I also don't think it's something that really has staying power when there's so few people who can really not only make a living, but make a dent like in like the zeitgeist, in the culture, doing that. It's just not something everybody can do. Like I told Joel, I don't want to be interesting every day. I have no desire to do that. I want to do something like this every couple of months and just show people there's more than one way to go about it. It's so nice when people I don't know reach out and say, like, you inspired me and you don't even know how. And I'm like, I hope it was just trying to do something different. But yeah, man, I'm really excited. What we're going to do, Lauren and myself are going to stream tomorrow night, the hour leading up to the release on Twitch. And so it'll be 11 Eastern, 10 Central. Really go over what we talked about those back and forths were so fun, man. That might have been my favorite part of all of this. Going back and forth with a really talented artist about what you're looking for, how you want it done. I think that, like you said, everything she does is great. And one thing she told me that I don't think she'll have a problem with me sharing, she was like, I didn't think people cared about what I did anymore. And I was just like, what are you talking about? But I also think that you log on Twitter any day and there are 50 different artists making the coolest wrestling art that you've ever seen. And they post it and they get a bunch of likes and they post in their bio, commissions, email me at, but you'll never see them do no damn commissions. And it's not their fault. I just think that people are so used to seeing things for free that a good project has trouble getting off the ground. And I told Lauren, I was like, look, here's what I'm going to pay you before. Here's the percentage of what you're going to get each time we sell one of these things. And I also think that like people need to take that risk. You can't just get on a mic and say, I have a podcast and want to interview X wrestler and the thing work. You do got to put some effort into it. And sometimes effort is a little bit of bread, these are projects, and to get things of the highest quality, you do have to invest in them. The first thing that I wrote, the Best Wrestlers book, them folks wouldn't let me pay them. And I was like, guys, please let me give you some money. You're strongly contributing to this thing that is going to last and hopefully get you more opportunities. So like my goal is not only for this thing to be good, but I shouldn't be able to hit Lauren in a month and say, hey, let's work on this thing. She should be too busy for that. Because again, you guys are seeing it and people have seen the art previews on there. It's stunning, man. she did this better than I thought it was going to turn out. She captured that Usual Suspects aesthetic perfect, and really, as good as the art is, those damn Polaroids, man, those are incredible. And really, she just made the figure and the shadow. And so I went in, made the Polaroid, did the cement background, like all that kind of stuff. But again, like looking at it, I knew exactly what I needed to do. I could not ask for a better artistic partner. I'm you can tell how excited I am, man. I've sent this to you guys. Of course, like there's a core group of people who always get these things, like Matthew from Botchamania always gets one. Vic Perry from the Wrestling Club always gets one because, like this is the kind of thing that I want his class to see. Maybe not the wine stain on Garcia's dossier. Maybe we'll ignore that part, right?
Grape juice. It's just grape juice. It's fine.
Yeah, it's grape juice, guys. It's grape juice. But I have a select group of people I want to see this just because, like, there are people who are making this thing that we do more interesting week after week, month after month, and we're inheriting like the TWC, but we're also inheriting like a young Daniel Garcia who, like, the coolest rappers in the world want to be around Daniel Garcia. You know what I mean? Like, you have a high on Houston, Texas, who wants to wrestle everywhere in the world, and everywhere in the world wants her. Like, we know Trick Williams is going to be huge. Kevin Knight, who took the road less traveled, he's going to be a big star for no other reason than can't nobody jump that high, Yeah, man. And then Jordan Grace, who just completely changed her physique, and I think in turn changed her trajectory, is everywhere, and all of these talents that I'm telling you about all have a strong relationship with new media. They're not, and shout out to my guy, Wade Keller, who I love. They're not running to Wade Keller to do shows. They're younger. They come from a different generation. Their media is different. And so I think media has to change with them. How do you make that change? You do some new shit. And so that new shit is coming out tomorrow night at midnight.
And we love the new shit because it is different, and it's so well thought out, and it's so well put together. And I can't emphasize enough, like, everything that you're saying is true, and there is absolutely room to in some ways revolutionize the way that we tell the stories in our field, because it's not just it's beyond the words. It is the art. It is, you know what it is? It's because we're old and everything old is new again. It's a CD jacket.
Yeah, man.
You get that album or you get that DVD, whatever it is, you pop it in your player back in the day, and what do? You vibe with whatever it came with. You look at the lyrics, you look at the photos. Sometimes it's tour photos, sometimes it's behind the scenes stuff, whatever it is. That tells a story that goes along with the music that you're playing or the movie that you're watching, and that is the stuff that you kind of need to start doing, because again, everything old is new again, and that's what this is. You have the words, but with the words come the great photos, and with that come the visual aesthetic to the story of these people. And I think that's huge, and I think that's important. So let's do that. Let's do more of that stuff. As long as it looks good, it's good.
I have a very important question for you, Cam. Joel's talking about vibing with this. This comes out at midnight tomorrow. Can I vibe with this while listening to the death of Slim Shady? Are they gonna go hand in hand?
I mean, I guess that's a decision to make. This was more easy reading than anything else, right? But I'll tell you this: you might not need to. Like, there's, I don't want to say, there's artists I never listened to, who you'll get to hear on this project. There are artists who are some of my favorites that you'll get to hear on this project. I just really appreciate how diverse these people are. And of course, like, I also was like, hey, I'm going to talk to Black talent. I'm going to talk to talent of color. I'm going to talk to women. Because also, media is changing in that way. You know what I mean? I got a bunch of kids coming up after me who want to do things similar to me, who have similar upbringing, similar life experiences. You know, you and Joel, you experienced it firsthand. You saw how different those press junkets are and those media rooms are than they would have been 10, 15 years ago. And so, you know, I do think that there needs to be an emphasis on these different talents because, like I said, they tend to latch on to us. Like my outside of like Wale Mania, my first time really getting to pick Trick's brain is me, my man Phil Lindsay and Emilio Sparks writing the show for DJ Who Kid. Now, it's a very specific room. You know what I mean? And so I think that the words and the work need to reflect that these people exist in different spaces and are comfortable in different places. You know what I mean? Like that really needs to be pushed. Man, I'm just really excited for people to get into this. Just because new conversations, man. Like you guys, again, you do this 3 times a week. So I know how annoyed you get when you see AEW bad, WWE good, company in the mud, X company is poaching Y talent from Z company. Like it's all just the same conversations left and right. And I don't know if, pardon me, I don't know if it's people trying to get a pop. I don't know if it's, you know, your likes and your retweets. But again, there are absolutely people who think that they are going to bad faith their way into careers. And I hate those people worse than I hate people who are just mean for no reason. You know, there's a conversation that I'm kind of having right now with people I respect who are mad at the Hawk Tua girl. And this is kind of a family show, so I won't tell you my exact. Oh, it's not?
We're an hour in.
Cam, I don't know if you.
I'm just saying, if you're not going to go suck that dick, why you mad that she's getting money? Go do the thing that makes you happy. If it doesn't produce like the same amount of money she's getting, it wasn't meant for you. Keep making dope shit. And if the dope shit don't pay off, at least you made some dope shit. Like, you know, this has never been to get rich or to get famous. I like dope shit. And my circle, my community likes dope shit. So we got to make it. Like, we got to contribute to that, man. I love, like you said, reading all Shay's stuff. Like, I got books sitting on my table from him. I got hand stocks, wrestling book. I got comic books everywhere because I want the art. Like, that's what's important to me. I love if whoever makes it gets famous off of it, but I want the art. And so producing that is so much more important to me than making a mint. I want these things to last. I want them to be long-term. And tomorrow night, you'll get to see my contribution this go-round. So, yeah, I'm excited about it.
Jeremy, you were going to tell Cameron about a certain thing you said earlier.
I feel like he's heard this before, but maybe he hasn't. So before you came on air, we were talking about the Hawk Tua girl. And in promoting you, because Joel was trying to keep it like secretive, have you heard Seahawk Tua? Have you been hit with that one before?
Wow. I mean, I've been hit with it before.
Not for people you like.
Wow. But yeah, no, let's ridiculous, man. But yeah. Again, this is your fault, Jeremy. I was like, man, if I mess up or there's a snag, like, you know, let me put it out Monday, it'll be fine, you know. But no, I appreciate the look, and you know, I thank you for making it feel big. I mean that, because it's nice to be official. And I think sometimes when working on these independent projects, when it doesn't have a big Spotify logo at the bottom, sometimes you can forget that people are looking for your work regardless of where it comes from. It's not just because it's under a big banner. That big banner absolutely has done wonders for me, putting me in specific rooms and helping me meet people. But to me, the work is the work. There are certain restrictions on working for a large company, mainly those restrictions being I need to be reeled in because sometimes I'll be typing some crazy shit. But with a project like this, I was able to be, as creative as I wanted to. And again, you guys are seeing really, you're seeing about 65% of what the totality of it's going to be once I get kind of all the links attached. Like for one of them, who doesn't want to know where you can actually order online from Buc-ee's? Everybody wants to know that. I'm going to let you know. But, just a small sample of what you'll be able to find when you really dig around into the project. So, yeah, man, next up lineup comes out tomorrow night at midnight. So technically the 12th of July, it'll be available on Gumroad. Of course, we'll put that information out. It'll be my pin tweet. It'll be on the IG. It'll be on Facebook. So anywhere that I am, you'll be able to find that.
And you'll see it shared by many more people, including myself. And I'll speak for Jeremy. Jeremy will share it too. Who am I kidding? Cameron. Thank you.
I'll probably do a whole new post on it on Friday, so then people can directly purchase it on the website, from the website. A link to purchase from there.
As they should. And we'll only take a 50% kickback. It's fine.
Oh my goodness, that's quite the kickback.
Yeah.
Your job is probably like, hey, we need you to come talk to these kids. So I will get back to real life. But gentlemen, thank you so much for letting me step on here. And again, I can't wait to share with you the totality, the finished version of what we're working on.
Thank you. We're looking forward to seeing it.
All right. My guys, you take care.
You too. Cam Hawkins, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks, always a blast. Good luck. As he clicks himself off. There we go. I let him do it himself. He's entitled to that. We kick other people off, but Cameron gets to do it himself. Anyway, good stuff. I like that Big E does a meetup for.
Internet's just holding up.
Are you doing all right there?
The internet is what it is.
It is what it is. I like that Big E does a meetup for any POC creators and media people around WrestleMania. And I'm thinking to myself, you think I could get MJF to do a Jewish media one? Like all three of us just hanging out. Oh God, that'd be awful. I'm going to do it. I don't know how. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to do it. He'll tell us the story about his quarters again. Let's talk about the Monday nights. And let's talk about Monday Night Raw as Jeremy figures himself out here. The big news, of course, actually, I'm going to hit a couple super chats, then we're going to hit Monday Night Raw. How about that? Vala has sent this, and I popped it up on the screen while Cam was here, saying, if you love wrestling, you can talk and write about it, about the parts of it that you love and are passionate about. You can make something for yourself in the space. And then, of course, Vala also added that it could be anything, not just wrestling related. And I fully agree with that. If you're passionate about something, you can make it something that you can talk about and monetize on. If you just choose to do that, there are ways to make it work. Just it's a passion. And then adding on that Kevin Knight is the only person I know who has a higher drop kick than Okada, and Okada goes real high and shatters that. It's a good point. Kevin Knight has an incredible feat of athleticism. And Jeremy, you've watched him work, and I've watched him work both TNA and New Japan as you have, and the dude is just something else to see. And I can't wait to watch Kevin Knight break through the next ceiling for himself.
I'm really waiting for that for Kevin Knight. I don't think it's his fault, but he's had the opportunities in New Japan. He's had opportunities in TNA, and like it doesn't feel like either company really gets behind him. And I think there's certainly the opportunity in New Japan because like they switch that friggin' junior title every single week at this point. Oh, I was so mad. I was staying with you. Woke up Friday morning. New Japan junior title change. They put all this into El Desperado. Give him his big show, his own show. He wins this cage match, and they lose it like 9 days later.
The one
Fucking stupid.
Yeah, you get the one defense special. That's the New Japan way now.
He didn't even defend it once.
Wasn't the cage match a defense?
No, that's where he won it.
That's where he won it. Oh my god, you're absolutely right. My goodness. Yeah, that's very stupid. I saw the Doki win and I was like, I don't know why we're doing that.
So it annoys me so much. But it feels like New Japan should get behind him as like a junior who could be on that level, but they don't, and I don't know, they have reasons. But yeah, it feels like some companies should get behind him a little bit more. There's certainly opportunity. There should be in TNA because they need to bring up some newer talent, and then New Japan, they need to kind of do the same thing.
Yeah, my hope is that X division starts to see a little bit more Kevin Knight, because Kevin was having, Kevin Knight really did well, and this was a bit surprising to some people. He brought the best out of Moose for a few matches. Not that Moose isn't a good wrestler, but like you got more out of Moose when Kevin Knight worked with him, and I think those are matches worth sounding out because they're very good. So looking forward to see more Kevin Knight, and of course he's mentioned in Cam's new. I just messed up the name of it. I was about to call it the Unusual Suspects, but no, it's called the next up lineup. Because of course, why am I hearing beeping is a good question that I am also a question of. Is that you?
I don't hear anything.
I hear it's like an interference.
Oh,
it happened when you switched.
Oh, well, that's not great.
What did you move?
I don't think I moved anything. I don't know. I switched into an Ethernet.
You switched to it? Really? An Ethernet cable did that?
I guess. I don't know.
Mute yourself and then unmute yourself. Now unmute yourself. Yeah, it's still there. Something on your, I don't know what it is. Anyway, not important. We'll deal with it later. It'll be my AI generated homework for the week. Monday Night Raw. Let's talk about it. John has sent a super chat saying, does Dom know Liv's intentions because she told him in the promo the week after the kiss? Rewatch it. He knows he's a pawn. He also sees the benefits. We'll see a new side of Dom and his interactions with Rhea. Well, Rhea Ripley came back on Monday night, closed out the show. I actually have a question for you. What was the last thing you saw on USA when Raw went off the air? What was the last scene?
Rhea and Dom in the ring, and like Rhea kind of like shoved Dom,
and then that was it. Yeah. Okay, so in Canada, and I think internationally, some people have seen it. There's a walking out of the ring.
Yeah, I
and
saw
Rhea
it.
Goes all the way to the back, and people were like pretending as if this was like this big moment. They're like, "Oh my god, I can't believe WWE messed it up." And I was like, I'm pretty sure US just saw the shove and then she walked away. To me, that would have been enough, and that's what they saw. So yeah, Rhea Ripley's back to the surprise of some. It's been something that's been talked about for a little while. No Fightful Select, we talked about it was an imminent an imminent return, and someone said something in repeat in the chat, and then I got to see her, and she's here, and now we're going to see how that plays out with Liv and Dom and the rest of the Judgment Day. But I do think that there's a really good point to be made about gotta stop reading the chat. There's a really good point to be made about the Dominic and Rhea storyline and how it relates to Liv, and how deep is Dom into this on either side. Does he have to pick a side? Does he already know which side he's picked? Is he going to play into the Liv side, the Rhea side? What happens with Damian Priest, who seemingly knew and kept it from the Judgment Day that Rhea Ripley's coming back? There's a lot on the plate, and I really appreciate that there is a lot more to the Judgment Day story than just a step one and that's it. What were your immediate thoughts when Rhea came back and everything had kind of played out the way it did throughout Raw?
I thought Rhea was gonna kick the shit out of Dominic.
No, you gotta wait for next week's Raw for that. When they're out of Canada, and it's not going to be a problem when they try to get booked in a year and they didn't get hauled away by the cops after getting into a fight at a Calgary bar.
I really enjoyed this story. we've already talked about Dom, and we need Bachelor Dom hanging out, handing out chicken nuggets to the women and everything. But he's tried to not feed into Rhea or Liv. Sorry, he's tried to be like, nope, don't want this, don't want to be part of this. And she continues to do all of these things that inundates herself more with the Judgment Day. Finn and JD are obviously fine with it because they got a PlayStation and tag team titles now. Carlito just thinks everything's cool. But Dom has tried to keep his distance from everything. I didn't want to team with her and all this stuff. But he slipped up. He fucked up on Monday. And he fucked up because what did Liv do? Helped him beat his father. Never been able to pin his father. All the times he was with Rhea, could never beat Ray. And Liv helped him beat Ray. And so when she started getting on to him at the end of it, he couldn't help himself anymore. They were in missionary position out there in the middle of the ring.
For like the fourth time in a row.
Well, they were mounting each other the past few weeks, you know. This is full on missionary. And then Rhea came out. Dom knew he messed up. But he got caught up in the game. Liv, rightfully so, got the hell out of there. Because why the hell are you going to stick around for that? That ain't her issue anymore. Not her issue. Yeah, they posted on social media, she was smiling and laughing behind the curtain because it was her plan. She was trying to screw all this up. And now it's coming to fruition. Damian also trying to screw things up for Dominic. It's working for him as well. Dominic out here, he thought he was having his cake and eating it too. Now he's got no friends, no mommy, no Liv.
What I find really interesting is that this whole story has been little brothering Dom as well. No one's taken Dom seriously. Everyone's treated him like the little brother. And I think that that's going to play into the final moment of he has to pick a side, and maybe he picks neither side because he's just been jerked around by everybody. Again, the Rhea Ripley Dominic Mysterio dynamic has been the same throughout, and that is Dominic and Rhea never show affection to each other, not the way that Liv wanted to. And finally, as Dominic is about to give in and is about to be like, I'm gonna make out with this woman in front of everyone because I just beat my dad. That's a really weird thing to think about. That's what makes you want to make out with a woman. But here we are. And that's when Rhea came back and was like, oh, hell no, not here. Nobody makes out with my Dom, especially not me. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to take back my Dominic. The story of Dominic and Rhea was also Rhea kind of forcing him into Judgment Day. And then it was a bit of Stockholm syndrome. He became part of it and he wanted to be part of it and he wanted to belong. And then he did belong and then Rhea got hurt. And now there's this weird, beautiful blonde woman who's trying to court him and also take away everything from the woman that he's stuck with. And he's stuck in the middle. He eventually will have to show that maturity and that smart moment where he goes away, he turns away from Liv and Rhea, and he goes on his sabbatical. He goes on his 4 years, not literally 4 years, this is just speaking internally, where he's just single and footloose and fancy free and does whatever he wants. And then he's going to come back to Rhea when she's being beat down. Because right now, I don't see a world where people want to cheer Dominic Mysterio while they're trying to cheer Rhea Ripley as well. Unless Dominic is completely subservient to Rhea Ripley. And I don't think they want to play that either. So I feel like Dominic's just going to go away, disappear, go somewhere, be sad, and then eventually come back to save Rhea. And that will be, the Elizabeth Macho Man story kind of coming together again.
Yeah. They should put Dominic on a forklift at SummerSlam.
I get it. I do. I kind of want to see it. I want Dominic to put himself in a shark cage, hanging above the ring,
just tossing chicken nuggets down,
just showering the match with chicken nuggets. Will Chisholm said to Super Chat saying, "I think it's effed up." I think it's funny.
Yeah,
funny.
not
Funny. I think it's F you, New York.
I think it's fuck you, New York.
I get it. Every day, baby. I think it's funny. Finn is happy. He's playing a PS5. He got a new 5-year deal.
That's the
Baby,
dream.
let the kids eat cake. Let them surf. Let them do whatever they want. They are featured. Well, not in the case of the surfer, but like PS5 boys sitting on TV every week making a paycheck. Sometimes, and he's a tag champion. Let's not forget that. If you want to talk about what he gets to do or doesn't do, he's still a tag champion. He's part of the most featured act on Raw. I think he's pretty happy with things. And you covered the story yesterday where he announced how long his deal was. You listened to that podcast. First of all, did you need a transcription service? Or not transcription service. Did you need a translation service? So there are a lot of accents on that show.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just an accent. Like nothing I haven't dealt with before. Listen to plenty of Drew McIntyre interviews. Finn curses a lot. I did learn that about him.
He really does, especially when he's with like people he's familiar with.
Yeah.
And with. Yeah, it's very funny.
Yeah, he curses a lot on that show. It's a very insightful interview. Obviously, I think he gave up his contract details, so that was easy headline news there. But like very insightful. I kind of posted the quote on my Twitter of he goes to the mall and people are coming up to him like, "Hey, great headlock takeover." They're like, "Hey, what's going on with Rhea and Liv?" And he mentioned that people, and like he's 100% true of this. People like to figure out the story or think they're figuring out the story more than watching the story. And that's literally what almost every single podcast is nowadays is, where is the story going to go? What's going to happen here? Instead of just watching what's actually playing out in front of you. And that's the fun of all television, movie, kind of entertainment mediums of, what do we think's going to happen with this, while also trying to break down and talk about what we see on our screens. But it's very interesting to listen to. People are saying, what if Finn and Liv are in cahoots? Like, Finn did take the key card, did come out of the room with her that one time. And one thing that I also found interesting from this podcast is sometimes they don't plan a lot of stuff. And what I mean by that is like the side eye looks, or he mentioned the demon briefcase. He's like, that's not a tell of anything that the demon briefcase or the lunchbox is in the clubhouse. That's not a sign that the demon's coming back. It's like, we found this prop. We needed props for our little clubhouse, so we put it in there. But what it does, it gets people talking. And two, if you do want to like circle back around to this stuff, now you have that little hint in there. And he mentioned this all kind of started with the bloodline would drop little hints. And like, if you wanted to play off of it, you could, but if you didn't, it's not that big of a deal because that's not actually what the story is. Fans just talked themselves into thinking this was part of the story, but it actually wasn't. And doing little things like that is just smart. It's just smart entertainment and smart use of the medium. Like if fans are going to work themselves into, what does this mean? This must be a hint about this. That's on them. But they don't have to capitalize on any of that. And then if they do, it's like, remember that? They can actually go back and they can, just by dropping those little hints, they can now tell that story if they want to go in that direction. And
on top of that, let's not forget, Finn Balor's just a good-looking dude. just a good-looking boy doing a lot of good work. The lunchbox is really funny because, and the bloodline stuff, because this is a kind of a harken back to the story that Sean dropped on Independence Day about the lockbox and how the lockbox story with Vince and Shane really wasn't anything. It was just a stupid line that an old man said on TV that got people thinking there was more to it than there really was. When in reality, what they're doing with a lunchbox, or they're doing with a flipping comment, I don't give a damn what the tribal chief thinks, and then a big look and a stare. Moments like that can be used and can be added into the entire story. A lockbox, for example, just gets it gets tossed in as a big thing that has absolutely no place in the story. That's the difference between the storytelling then and now. And pulling out a lunchbox like that is, Finn just saying it's just a prop. Just a prop. We're just having fun with it. We got to put stuff in there. There's a world championship there too, but maybe it won't be there for long. It's good. I really like it. So I'm very curious as to what Dominic does and how Judgment Day kind of fractures, because it's been up there for so long, and every single month for months on end we were saying this is it, it's going to happen, and now we're finally getting to that point where the story could move towards an actual fracture of the Judgment Day, or they all figure out as a united front that the only problem is Finn, and Finn's out, and they kick Finn out for the work with Liv. That wouldn't be the worst thing I've ever seen, and then let Finn kind of go and grow on his own.
JD is gonna be alongside.
Sure, whatever. No one cares about his big head. Sure, he can go swim in the ocean.
Because that's the thing, is we know JD and Finn have like a friendship. We know Damian and Rhea have a friendship. That's where Dom is just kind of, this is kind of the little brother thing of like, he's just sort of there. He didn't have an actual relationship with these guys beforehand. He wasn't really friends with Finn. He wasn't friends with Damian. They brought him in because Rhea wrapped her legs around his neck. He's like, that was nice. My dad is choosing Adam Copeland over me, so let me go with these guys. Like the little brother syndrome, I don't know if syndrome, but the little brothering is spot on with this.
They've let him get away with so much. They've basically been like, fix it. And every time Dominic doesn't quote unquote fix it, they've been like, you little scamp, go ahead. Even from this past Monday with the stuff with Liv, Carlito is that one brother who comes in and just kind of makes a joke out of it because it's so uncomfortable otherwise. And it's funny the way that he does it. I give Carlito credit. By the way, did he lose his bags or something? Did he forget that he had to wrestle, or like what's going on with his wrestling in sweatpants? Was it just a choice, or did somebody lose his airline package? It's pretty weird.
Let that man live.
He's another guy with a 10-pack. Why wouldn't he want to show that off? He used to show everybody how ripped he was. That was like his staple. Anyway, man couldn't. Anyway, So I'm curious as to what the plan is now with Rhea Ripley. Beyond just the Women's World Championship, clearly she's going to go back for it. Clearly she's going to go after Liv. Now the story becomes, what did Liv do? How much damage did Liv cause? And we know some of it, right? But now we don't know what's happened in the background between members of Judgment Day and Liv versus what maybe communications were being had with Rhea. What's so funny?
He said, how much damage did Liv cause? Dom needs to go up to damage control on Monday. Like, hey, I hear you girls do damage control. Can you help me out on this?
Damage control becomes a PR firm.
Yeah.
That's their new gimmick. Damage control hasn't changed, so they changed.
EO is like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? And then Rhea sees him talking to 3 more women and is like, you just can't help yourself, huh?
Dominic gets pegged as a sex addict who never gets laid. Oh, this is great. We're already planning the worst of this show. Could you imagine? Oh God. Oh, let that marinate for a minute, people. Everything is just worse for Dominic.
It sounds like an R-Truth skit, just right out of the book here for R-Truth, but it should happen with Dominic.
It should. And then all of a sudden, damage control changes into a PR firm, and Dominic just cries in the corner because nobody trusts him. Dominic becomes a male gigolo. Damage control becomes the new APA. Could you imagine? Damage control is oh God, that's great. We'll do that. But Yeah, I'm hoping that Rhea is available to go back into the ring and wrestle sooner than later. Clearly, if they're going to have her on screen at least for the next few weeks, it should be building towards clearance, and a match at SummerSlam would be ideal. But we don't know in terms of her status with her injury whether or not that's going to be the reality of things. It would be nice though. It certainly feels like they're very close to doing that. But maybe next week will really give us an idea of how far along she is in her recovery.
Apologize for understanding. Where does Raving Girls fall into this?
They don't.
Oh.
They fall into another rave.
I don't know. Dominic just like going out. He's down in his sorrows and everything. He just wanders into the club, and there's Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. Isn't that how they dance? Is that right?
Boots and cats and 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 boots. Boots and cats. You just say boots and cats over and over again.
Oh, Dom doing Molly with them.
But every time that he says he's doing Molly, now we're just booking Attitude Era stories because in walks Molly Holly.
Oh, that'd be good. That'd be good too.
I told you guys I was doing Molly, but no one wanted to listen. I'm so done.
That's the payoff to this whole angle. Dom's been with Molly Holly the whole time.
And she's a beacon of virtue. Oh no. They're actually saving orphanages. Emily, you leave Molly Holly. I've been rolling on Molly, literally.
This is great.
This is awful.
I need a Dom Mysterio drug sequence. Has anybody seen the show You? With Penn Badgley? We talk about it on FMC every now and again. Fantastic, outrageous, stupidly outrageous show. There's this episode, I think it's first season. There's this episode where Penn Badgley takes a drug and he's like trying to break into the house. And he does break into the house. And the entire thing is just like a drugged out sequence as he's trying to murder this person. It's the most over the top, outrageous episode in the world. That's what I need from Dom Mysterio. Everyone go watch. I'll tell you what episode it is. So everyone can, after the show, go watch You. And you can understand what I'm talking about. And then you'll come back on Monday or whatever. When are we doing the show again? Friday, yeah. You'll come back on Friday and you'll be like, you know what, Jeremy? That was fucking just crazy as could be. And yeah, that's what we need this for Dominic Mysterio.
JNA's reminding us that homework is not part of the deal on this show.
Look, it's one episode. It's like an hour long. Yeah, it's it's so worth it though. You don't need to know the rest of the story. It's fine. You'll be okay.
All right, we'll see. We'll just
watch it. And okay, it's episode 6.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's episode 6.
Season 1
Uh-huh.
of You. All right, go watch this. They're all on MDMA. It's the most psychotic television episode in the world.
We got a super chat from Will Chisholm saying R-Truth thinks he doesn't know what blonde white woman he's talking to. Don't take him to NXT. R-Truth is a very special individual. I like R-Truth. What's he going to do next?
I don't know.
It's going to get beat up by his tag team partner.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Miz was upset. Sure. He lost. I know. There's no reason to be talking about this. What else happened on Raw that we really need to talk about? The Bo thing. Yeah. Videotapes. More videotapes.
Well, he's in person as well.
But okay, so follow-up question. Why couldn't he deliver the videotape this time?
I don't know. He didn't feel like appearing from the live crowd.
But I mean, he comes out. He doesn't come out. He's in Pierce's office, and he's not wearing the mask. He's not dressed up like his alter ego. He's just normal, scared puppy, crazy Bo. I was going to say Bo Rotundo when I meant Bo Dallas. Oh, what's going on? Why do we have to doll up Nikki just to deliver the tape again? Is it because Chad was there and they want to freak him out one more time?
Yeah.
Okay. The one dude in the as Chad's retreating to the back, the one dude who yells, "Chad, behind you! There's someone."
That ruled.
He just trips on himself. That was a good shit. I have a feeling it may have been our pal Tom, Tiki Sherwood, because he was on the side of the rails there. Yeah, that was a really good video package again. And then they finally gave you something in house, and that was the tease of the Adam Pearce and Bo Dallas meeting. And you know that they're sick. You know that they're very sick because Bo Dallas went to Ottawa. It's no other reason. They could have gone to Toronto. They could have been part of the Money in the Bank show, but no, they were like, no, we're gonna go to Ottawa. We're gonna go try some Bridgehead coffee. We're gonna go to this. We're gonna go to the Peace Tower. Maybe we're gonna go have a Works burger, and then we're gonna go talk to Adam Pearce. Well, like 2 of them went. I don't know about the other 3. Bo loves beaver tails. Beaver tails are like a delicacy dessert, not literal beaver tails. It's like this pulled dough that they fry up and then they put stuff on top of it. It's flat and it's yeah. They call it beaver tails. So you put stuff like powdered sugar and you put some maple syrup on it, some chocolate, yeah, stuff like that. If they had gone to Hamilton, they probably would have fit in a little too well with the people there. You want to talk about Wyatt Sick6? There are plenty of sick people in Hamilton.
Wow.
Tell me I'm wrong.
I've never been to Hamilton, so I don't know.
Better off.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
The anonymous IGW general manager just sent me a message saying he is the leader. He doesn't need to do the grunt work of dropping off a videotape.
Facts.
That's a very good point.
They gotta have a VHS player out there.
They should
a VHS tape player. They gotta have some people, the wheel out the substitute teacher wheel out the video, but those VCR TV combos, the VCR is built into the TV.
Of course they do.
That's what we need. Why is that just not sitting out there on the desk as one of the monitors?
Well, why wouldn't you? How would we be able to watch the tape at that point? Is camera just going to point and shoot?
No, it's plugged into. They got all those wires and stuff. You just plug it in. They got the monitors that you watch the action, which is basically the TV screen.
Yeah, but those are watching HDMI now.
You just plug it in.
I guess. Seems like a lot of adapters together. They have to do an Amazon run for that.
Well, they got time.
Oh, that's true.
You plug in. It's very simple, Joel. You plug in the yellow cable to the yellow circle. You plug in the white cable to the white circle and the red cable to the red circle. That's it.
Do you know what the correspondence to those colors are?
No.
Would you like to know?
Audio and video, isn't it? Left input,
yes,
right
audio,
input, video input.
Red and white are the audio, left and right.
Yeah.
And the yellow is the video.
See, I do know. I'm smart.
Do you know about component cable when you start getting into the other colors that are involved, like the blues and the greens?
Green, and their green one.
That shit messed everybody up. And then they went to HDMI, and then everyone was fine.
They should film a vignette of them trying to go to a Radio Shack or a Circuit
City. I told you that was the segment the first week when they're like, oh, we have to find a VHS player. They should have sent a writer's assistant in the car with a camera, going to every single pawn shop at 10 o'clock at night, trying to find a VHS player. Do you have a VHS player? No, we haven't seen one of those in about 5 years. God damn it. And he just goes next door. Do you have a VHS player? He's going down pawn shop row. Every city has a pawn shop row. Okay. Don't tell me there isn't. You know it exists. Ours has one. I walked you through many parts of town that should have had pawn shop row, and you just find them. And they never come with the cables. They never come with it. You always have to buy them separately.
They got to do this big haggling thing too.
Of $50. The hell?
Yeah.
I'll give you 20. 20's a little too low. How about we do 40? Oh, god damn it. Split the difference. 30.
We need the assistant. We need the assistant calling Paul of they won't take less than 45. Triple H is we don't have 45 in the budget. We were only gonna do 35. We don't have this. We can't do, nope, tell him no. We can't do 45. 35, that's our final offer.
If you get it for 20, I'll give you the rest. I'll give you the 15 for yourself. So why are we, what is wrong with our show? Anyway, it rules. Yeah, so that's the VCR. They found the VCR, they played the tape, and the
Yeah,
tape
they're
didn't
gonna be
matter.
Pawn Stars. I mean, they have
WWE
the like hidden treasures type thing.
That's different. They're going to people's houses and just stealing it.
Yeah.
They shouldn't hit up the Toronto Public Library. They'll be told that they can have it for 50, but then they'll tell you that it's only for an hour instead of the 3 that you booked.
Well, they only need it for an hour. Unless it takes like an hour to get back to the arena.
Well, in some cases it might. So I can tell you the arena in Ottawa has nothing around it other than houses and like a couple of hotels now. They've like, do you know the story of the Corral Center as it is now, the Canadian Tire Center?
Why the fuck would I know that story?
Because you're a hockey fan. They built it in Canada, Ontario, hoping that people would build that it would be built out, that people would come out there. The tech boom was really big. This was 1996. They were hoping that the tech boom would bring people to this arena. By the way, why is this important? It's not, but Raw was in Ottawa at this arena on Monday night. So they hoped that it would happen. It didn't happen. Tech boom bust in Ottawa. Nortel was the big deal. That didn't happen. And then next thing you know, they have this arena in the middle of nowhere. And they're like, well, we got to do something. So they built a few things around it, but not much. And like people didn't really go that way. It didn't become the hub they expected. So now they're trying to rebuild an entirely new not stadium, but arena, NHL arena, down closer to downtown, which is what people have wanted for like 20 years. And the Ottawa Senators still can't win a cup.
Yeah, this seems like a lot of work for the Senators.
Well, it only took our owner dying for us to be able to get that. Shout out to the National Capital Commission for getting on this. Yeah, so going off of my Grandpa Simpson side story. 5 Bs for a quarter, they'd say. Yay! It was the style at the time. Yay! We'd go into the stores and we'd ask if they could give us 1 Sens jersey. Yay! 1 Sens pin. Yay! I have nothing else. I can't keep this bit going. Do the one last time.
No.
All right. Anything else from Monday
CM
Night?
Punk showed up. Oh,
yeah, that's right. So I got a text from my friend earlier in the day who lives in Ottawa. And he's like, should I go to Monday Night Raw tonight? Will Punk be there? And I was like, And I'm glad he went because his favorite wrestler in the world, CM Punk, was there. Yeah, that was a good segment from CM Punk. Everyone deserves everything bad that happens to them except for me. There you go. I just gave you the entirety of that promo. and then Seth Rollins comes out. And I like that Rollins. So this is the one thing about Punk. For most of what Punk has done, he's been outside of the ring. He's ran away from the grind, as it were. And this time, when he goes to run away from the grind, Seth Rollins is like, no. You come here.
Oh, Rollins was great.
Yes. Talk about this. This was a good segment that re-established that at one point we will have to see these two fight.
First off, dumb line by CM Punk for being like, oh, the ratings just went down because Drew McIntyre was on screen. Don't be stupid. It was silly. If we're gonna give it to, I didn't like the comment from MJF. I didn't get to talk about it on Monday. I don't really care to anymore, but I didn't like it. Others have made their references. I don't think it needed to be done by CM Punk either. I thought that was silly. Yeah, it was a dumb line. The difference is it wasn't the closing line to his entire promo, and they still had the follow up with everything with Seth. So people probably didn't even know. People didn't even remember that the line happened. It was still a stupid line. But CM Punk does not take any responsibility for his actions. He wants Drew McIntyre back because he wants to fight Drew McIntyre. So he wants Drew McIntyre to not be suspended anymore. And old Seth comes out. I did like Punk, Punk's like, he's going to take a while. And then Seth, come on, get in the ring now. You always want to interfere in people's business. Now you want to stand on the outside? The hell? Punk out in the ring, and Seth is like, you don't take any responsibility for your actions. And Punk tries to apologize. He actually says, I'm sorry, but he's not that sorry because it was Seth. It's like, I almost had it. Almost had it. You don't take any responsibility for your actions. You think that nothing is your fault. Whatever you do, CM Punk's not to blame for it. You go start fights, you interfere in people's business, and it's not your fault. Well, Punk did very well of, look, this man took this bracelet from me. This bracelet means something to me. It's like taking the wedding ring over here. Like, so he made it my business. I was going to get my pound of flesh, and what I said is going to ring true. As long as I'm breathing, he's not winning that world title. And Seth, I thought Seth could have hit him a little bit harder, honestly. I thought Seth could have, and maybe this is coming down the line, but I thought Seth could have, when he was talking about the world title and everything and talking about how much it meant to him, and when Punk's like pipe dream, I didn't understand that because, like, what do you mean pipe dream? He was literally the first world champion. He established that title. It's not a pipe dream to win a world title. Like, he's been a world champion. I thought Seth could have hit him. And again, maybe this is coming of like, I main evented WrestleMania with that title. What the fuck have you done? Where have you've never main evented WrestleMania? And again, I think that's probably coming down the line with it, because that's an easy line Seth can hit him with.
And we're in the middle of summer. WrestleMania 40 is closer than 41 in a lot of ways. Well, not just on the calendar, but also just in the conversational thing.
Yeah, but when he was talking about winning the title and how much it meant to him, definitely thought he could have hit him with that line. But then Seth kind of closed with, remember your own advice, actions have consequences. I was there when they did the first big face-to-face between these two. It was in Cleveland. This is a money match. This is a match that you don't need a whole lot of setup to. They've already done, through 2 promos, they've set this up enough to where you want to see these guys go at it. I like Seth's line of, I'm above you, and it's not just the heels. Thought that was clever. And also, like, yeah, I'm above you I'm not worried about these little games and you screwing people over, because I'm above this. You can't touch me like that. I'm at where I'm at in this company. You think you're there, but you're not. Because like he said back in November, this is your last shot. Maybe it's December. This is your last shot, buddy. You had nowhere else to go if you screw this up. Seth's pretty untouchable when it comes to that. I thought it was a good face-to-face, and man, I want to see this match. Whenever it happens, I look forward to it. I know Drew and Punk is what they've really been building on, and that's been a really strong build, despite the fact that Punk can't wrestle. But there's a lot of money to be made with this match, and there's even more story to tell with this match.
And obviously that was where it was going to go, and then there was the injuries, and there was just the everything had to change as a result of what happened at the Rumble with Punk, getting injured, and as a result, it was the best situation to be found in. And yeah, you're going to tell the Drew story, and then you're going to tell the Seth story, and that story is where it was supposed to start, and they're going to pick it back up, and I think that's great. So I'm looking forward to WrestleMania season, not just because John Cena is going to show up and blow it all out of the park, but also because Seth versus Punk is going to be good. I think there's a lot more story to be told, and a lot of really cool match opportunities there, not just between the two of them, but maybe in a tag capacity or just other matches you can do that involve Seth and Punk. You saw the beginning of it on Saturday at Money in the Bank, just with the teases and the physicality that was there. There's some good stuff. So we'll see where it plays out.
As long as Punk stays healthy, that's really the biggest issue right now, is Punk staying healthy to do any of this.
Yeah, that's going to be the big deal, is Punk staying healthy. Otherwise, where can he go? TNA?
Why is he going to TNA?
Well, it's Seth saying this is your last chance.
Oh.
Goes crazy. Goes TNA.
I don't know. TNA is working well with WWE right now. I don't know if they want to take him.
I know. 12:30. Sean Ross Sapp has a conversation with say his name, and he appears. Do the clap. Do the clap. Do the clap.
I don't have the clap. No.
Can you get the clap for 2 seconds?
No.
All right. Well, we believe in Joe Hendry at 12:30 on the main. Go watch that interview. I do want to touch on NXT because that was a thing. That was a big part of last night's NXT was the TNA crossover continued. Trey Miguel, Zachary Wentz, the former Nash Carter. Did they call him Zach Wentz on the show?
I don't recall, actually. I don't know if I feel like they just said like MSK, but I don't recall if they use names or not.
They had names for those two guys. For
oh yeah, it had Zachary Wentz on the cry on that.
Okay, they called him Wentz. Okay,
yeah,
good. For those who don't know, yeah, they called him Wentz. So great, wonderful. Happy to see the Rascals reunited. Saw it coming after the match for Wesley losing the North American Championship opportunity that he had against Obafemi. Excellent match at Heatwave. The moment that they showed, Wesley being like so morose and like, I got to address my future and blah, blah, blah. That was like, okay, that's the beginning. And also for those who keep track of the tapings for TNA, the one thing I said on this show, and I said it on the TNA post show with Cresta Star, was they have to babyface the Rascals real quick if they're going to work with Wesley. And they found a way to do it, and they did it within the crossover. They had to babyface because the Rascals were these giant piece of shits on TNA TV every single week. Spray painting people in the face, acting like assholes. It was just a whole thing. The way they were presented was like the antithesis of Wesley and his presentation on NXT. And if anyone went back and watched it or just saw like a random week of TNA TV, you would have seen that. What are you saying?
There's your issue, Joel.
I know you have to expect that people are going to go back and watch.
No one
was
watching.
I get it. But for me, the alignments needed to make sense. And finally they did it. They started that with these TV tapings. They babyfaced the Rascals. Good stuff. Happy to see it. Looking forward to.
They didn't even babyface the Rascals. They just came out and reunited with Wesley and people were happy.
I'm talking on TNA.
It's not like they
TNA
changed their morals or anything.
Yes, my point is if you watch TNA, they've started to babyface the Rascals because of this stuff with Charlie Dempsey. You'll see it in the next couple of weeks. All right. So Dempsey showed up this past week on TNA. There is more crossover to come this week on TNA programming and next week as well. So there's a really cool moment there with the Rascals getting their stuff together. I'll tell you a really funny story offline when we're done about this whole thing coming together. And then the story with Joe Hendry, of course. We didn't see it in the venue on Sunday when they went off the air and they showed the Joe Hendry turnaround. We didn't see that. We had no idea. We were all expecting some sort of TNA presence, and then there was none. We were all pretty happy with how the show went, but on our way out, we're like, what happened? And then you check your timelines, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, that happened. And then, of course, that means Joe Hendry came back, made his NXT return, tagging with Trick Williams in a solid tag match. It was what it was, and he got the win for his team, pinning Sean Spears. Joe Hendry is definitely making his presence known in NXT. It's good. I like this crossover. It's getting better.
Okay.
Did you watch any of it?
Yeah, I covered it, Joel.
Well, I know you're covering Dynamite tonight. I thought maybe you'd get a day off. A night off.
It's the funniest thing you've ever said on this show.
I say a lot of funny things. I figured that would be the best one to pop you. Maybe one day I'll get a day off.
No, it was a good show. It was a good show. Joe Hendry, the teases throughout the night was fun. And yeah, he showed up, got the pinfall in the main event as well. So that was pretty big in the pin on Sean Spears. So I assume he's going to be around maybe a little bit longer. I'm sure Sean will ask some questions here in a half hour and we'll get some answers. So it was a good follow-up to Heat Wave. And they set up some stuff moving forward. I think they need to put the title on Thea Hale. That's my biggest.
Oh, give me that. Give me Sentient Cocaine Championship aspirations. Let's go.
She rules.
She does. Never seen someone scream and yell to that degree as I have with her. My favorite.
She absolutely rules.
Thea Hale's the best. I like her. I don't want to. Do you want to do the Dynamite preview so early? We got to be done eventually.
We could do. I mean, anything else? You missed a lot here. Is there anything else you want to catch up on? John Cena? Do you have any?
The John Cena stuff was really.
Oh, wait. Sorry. I don't mean to
Yeah,
cut
go
you
ahead.
off. Breaking news.
Breaking.
Stephanie Vaquer is leaving CMLL in New Japan. She has been stripped of both of her CMLL titles. She will no longer be wrestling at Fantastica Mania this weekend. So
Interesting. There it is. That's okay. So there was a video going around from Lucha Blog from I think last night's show. Yeah, she had a match in Guadalajara, and we won't talk about who she had the match with because that person doesn't matter anymore. But then she got up on the ring apron and or on the ropes, and she said her thank yous basically to the crowd. Did this, and then yeah, that's big news. Stephanie Vaquer is potentially moving on. That is breaking news right now from CMLL and us as well.
it feels like if she was signing with AEW, this would not need to happen.
Yeah. They are apologizing for the abrupt announcement.
Yes.
This Saturday, Fantastica Mania, a new CMLL World Women's Champion will be crowned in a three-way match. It will be Luvia, Viva Van, and Willow Nightingale. So it'll be CMLL, New Japan, and AEW in a triple threat for the CMLL World Women's Championship. I'd like to see Viva Van win that match. There you go.
Tune in to NXT next Tuesday to see the debut of Stephanie Vaquer.
I mean, I was going to say, given the names on this Women's World Championship match, it certainly feels like Stephanie is going to be speaking very good English very, very soon. Maybe she's going to Marigold. It's going to be Stephanie Vaquer and Bozilla. That's the new tag team. Vacazilla. No, that sounds bad. All right.
It's pretty big. Vaquer obviously did a good work heading into Forbidden Door with Mercedes. Got a lot of praise with the match with Mercedes, and she was coming out of that show. Everyone was like, "Oh, she's got to sign somewhere," and it didn't take long. 10 days for her to potentially make a decision here.
What's really funny are the people who were like, "Oh, she's not in it for the paycheck. She's in it because she loves the game. She's going to be with CMLL forever." And I was like, I don't think anyone wants to be anywhere for one time or forever, unless their name is The Miz. Good for Miz. Yeah, that's big news. Stephanie Vaquer moving on and potentially going. I mean, at this point, the way that it looks is WWE bound, but we're gonna keep an eye on it and we'll see where she lands.
Yeah, obviously not confirmed on WWE. Yeah. I don't want to put that out there that it's 100% confirmed.
Yeah, we are reading into things based on the CMLL Fantastica Mania match that they set up. As Jeremy writes the story.
So I'm writing this article real quickly.
It is a big story, and it's something that's it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone who watched that match at Forbidden Door. Like you said, they had a standout match. The build was good. It was one of the few matches at Forbidden Door that we really looked at with a story involved that got you invested in it. Oh, Ryan Lambert saying she's going to the NWA. Okay, good. Okay,
fair.
Sure. Yeah, big supporter of Latin talents, Billy Corgan. Heard that song Creep, decided that would be her theme song. I have those interviews, by the way.
Yeah, you got to post them.
I do. If I don't post them, we'll play them. Maybe we'll play one of them on Friday's show.
We should play like the Cole interview on Friday's show.
We should. The Cole interview was really fun. The Jack Cartwheel interview was also really fun.
They're both good.
I don't think I want to edit any of it. I just want to have the intro because it was so stupid and it's so on brand for us. Oh, God, that'd be great. Yeah, what if she's going to MLW? I could actually see Vaquer going to a place like MLW, not because of like nothing nefarious, but just because they have a lot of Latino talent. So I could see it. I don't think she is, to be quite honest. I'd like to see where she shows up. It's going to be good wherever she goes. wrestling wise. Like to see where that goes. All right. How are we looking?
I'm about done. I'm just trying to catch up on all of this because it's pretty big news here.
It is big news.
Yeah.
Hey, chat. While you're getting in your last minute super chats, if you'd like that, what should we do for the Dynamite preview?
Oh,
Yeehaw, yeehaw, Cowboys, because
oh,
you're in Calgary.
oh, I gotta hold on.
You have something?
I might have a hat.
Oh, the hats.
Ah.
The hats. That's right. Hold on. Oh, mine's all the way over there. Give me a second. I'm gonna get the hats.
All
My
right.
mic is still on.
All right, you get a hat, and then I'm gonna go out and get a hat. How do you do a hawk tuo? Can't do it in Spanish. Maybe get Luis. Where's Luis at to do it all in Spanish? What is this hat?
What? This is my hat. Some people wear fascinating. There you go.
All right, hold on.
Good.
I'm gonna go.
Special?
I'm gonna go see if I can find the hat that I think I have. I feel like I've worn it on this show before. Maybe not this show. I've worn it on a show.
You've probably worn it before. Is this the rhinestone cowboy hat? The Mickey
Yeah.
James hat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you wore it on this show.
Yeah.
Maybe last year.
Yeah, maybe. All right,
Yeah,
hold on.
that's fair. Go get the hat. Jeremy Lambert's gonna get the hat. I have mine. This hat is great. This is my favorite hat. I got 2 of them. My kid wears one sometimes. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Toot toot. Right? Paul Burchill. People are saying that I'm a pirate like Paul. You got to be watching the video to get it. Oh yeah, that's the Mickey James hat. That is Santa Mickey right there. That is the Santa Mickey hat right
I don't
there.
know how it's gonna. It doesn't work with my headphones. That's my problem.
No, you got to do it the Jim Ross style where you have them down on your side. Why don't you just put your
Am I
headphones to the
frozen
side?
now?
No, you're
Did all
fine.
this work?
No, now you're frozen. Called your shot, and that's what happened. My God, there you are. You're back.
All right.
You just put your headphones down like the Jim Ross style.
I can't. I don't like doing that.
I know it's not comfortable. I don't know how JR did it for so many years. There you go.
Where I'm like that. They like hold my headphones up.
Oh, it's like you're gonna drop.
I know my hat would be great with Calgary. That's why, like, I have it. That's why.
I don't think you could wear that hat in Calgary. Your wife, maybe. I don't think you could get away with it. Calgary is a very interesting town, Jeremy. I don't think you can get away with that hat.
Why
Your
not?
wife could get away with the hat.
Why couldn't I wear it?
Calgarians wouldn't be a big fan of a guy wearing that hat. You'd hear some people.
No, I'm not worried about that.
True. You shouldn't. What are we doing tonight? What are we doing? What's this AEW Dynamite thing? What's this preview? It's Cowboy?
How are we doing a cowboy? Yeehaw, everybody. AEW Dynamite tonight, live on TBS.
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like.
Is that it?
Yeah, it's the finals of the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. As tonight on the women's bracket, Willow Nightingale, soon to be wrestling for the CMLL World Women's Championship at Fantastica Mania. Well, tonight she's got her women's tournament final. Well, she takes on Mariah May. That is a English wrestler. She's British. They don't pronounce the T there, but we do because we're proper cowboys. Yeehaw. Willow versus Mariah May for the Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament Final. Back to you, Jeremy, for the men's final.
Well, spank my ass and call me Sally. Thank you, Joel. In the men's Owen Hart Tournament Finals, we got Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson, he going to be taking on Hangman Adam Page. We love the old Hangman Adam Page. He a cowboy just like myself and Joel over here. And we got this special guest enforcer. That sounds like Dusty Rhodes.
I hear you, Dusty.
We got a special guest enforcer, baby. Jeff Jarrett. He going to be the enforcer for this match, baby.
And that's JAJEFF, JARRETT, Jeff Jarrett. Now I sound like Conrad.
All over the place.
What's up, folks? This is the Owen Hart Foundation Tournament, and you're listening to AEW Dynamite. Anyway, we ruined it already. The GOAT. Yeah.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to Boom, the AEW Dynamite preview.
Hosted by myself in Washington. Because of course it's Will Washington. It's always Will Washington. Like you said, special guest enforcer, Jeff Jarrett. God, he does everything in the South. He basically is the South. Looking forward to the Owen Hart Foundation Tournament Finals tonight here on AEW Dynamite live from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. The Scotiabank Saddle Dome. It houses 45,000 people. And tonight we will see the AEW World Champion, Swerve Strickland, returning. He's going to be back, and he's going to tell us all about how he feels about being in Calgary. Spoiler alert, probably not much. But he's going to be back on AEW programming. This is a very Canadian week for AEW and wrestling in general. The next 2 weeks, you got the WWE coming to Toronto and to Ottawa. You got Dynamite in Calgary. You got TNA Montreal next week. My God, Canada's they're definitely they're going places. Swerve Strickland, champion, coming back Calgary. That's good feeling. Back to you, Jeremy Lambert.
Yeehaw. We also got Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay going to be speaking, bruv. He going to be telling the crowd how he feels about MJF and what MJF had to say on AEW Collision. What will Will Ospreay have to say? You're just going to have to tune in live tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, AEW Dynamite, only on TBS.
Can we just figure out what does bruv mean? As a bunch of cowboys, we don't really say that.
Bruv is like a brother, you know? The people who be kissing their sisters, that's what the bruv means.
Oh, it's kind of like how we say y'all.
A little bit like y'all, but not quite like y'all.
It's a little stranger, isn't it? Okay. Well, how about this? How about a Stampede Street Fight? Even though I don't even think it's Calgary Stampede season. Is Calgary Stampede season? Let's find out. Calgary Stampede. I'm using one of the computer things. The Stampede is actually well in effect. That good for us. Well, it's Stampede Street Fight as Samosa Joe, Ragosa Joe, beautiful flower. He's going to take on the Learning Tree. That's right. The flower of the Learning Tree will take on Chris Jericho, the man of the Learning Tree. They're going to have a Stampede Street Fight. They're going to beat each other so bad, it's going to be tougher than $2 steak. I tell you what. Think JR.
$2 what?
A $2 steak. I tell you what.
Where you get them $2 steaks from?
From a very good butcher in Calgary. It's about as good as it goes.
If it's $2, it can't be that good now.
No, you know, if you go down to butcher, you ask for a good price. Maybe sometimes it's a little bit older. It's good steak.
You ever gone down yonders to the Blade and the Butchers? They got them really fancy steaks. It's over down yonder.
Oh, that's the place that serves bunny too, right?
It does serve bunny as well. The Blade, the Butcher, and they got some bunny, and they got really good steaks.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to that. Maybe there could be some kip on there. Remember some kip?
I don't remember no kip. I never had no kip.
Oh, my bad. Okay, maybe the kid just needs to put a box on their head and then remember them who they are. Hey, you looking forward to a Global Glory 4-way? You ever been in a Global Glory 4-way before, Jeremy Lambert? You ever at Global 4-way? Okay, freeze. What the fuck were they thinking when they called it that? It is all called the Global Glory Hole. What are we doing?
I've been in that good old Global Glory. You put a little hawk to it on the Global Glory, and let me tell you, everybody has a good time in the Global Glory.
The Glob of Glory. That's what it sounds like. Glob of Glory. By the way, your accent now sounds like our friend. Oh my God, he was on our show not too long ago, and I forget his name. Anyway, not important. Claudio Castagnoli is going to take on Kyle Fletcher, who's going to take on Pac. And for some reason, Tomohiro Ishii is also here to take the pinfall.
There's going to be a great Global Glory match. You're going to have a happy ending for everybody as well, baby.
We got the Swiss, the Aussie, the Brit, and the Japanese guy all vying for Global Glory. Last time that happened and those 4 men from different countries got together, there was... Anyway, not important. That's AEW Dynamite for tonight. Oh, no, it's not because...
No, it's not. How you going to forget the Mercedes Moné Double Championship victory toast? She had a big old celebration last week, and now she's going to have a big old victory toast this week, y'all. She's going to have the champagne. She's going to have the beer. She's going to have the whiskey. She's going to have the vodka. She's going to have the Jameson. She's going to have all of it. She's going to have the good beer, the imported beer, the domestic beer. All the beer out there are going to be out there for the champagne victory championship toast with Mercedes Moné, baby.
Mercedes Moné going to have that champagne wishes caviar drinks, ain't she? Sorry, wrong show. Mercedes Moné has that double championship. It's probably a good thing that she won that title before they had to strip the other person of it. So good timing for Mercedes Moné getting her second victory lap in as many weeks. Since the petty wars are on, do we think that maybe a doctor is in the house for the celebration?
I went to the doctor the other day to take a look at the bunions on my feet, baby. And let me tell you, they say you got to stay off of them dogs. They said, drink some of the Terramana. The Terramana is a cure-all for everything. You ever had the Terramana, baby?
No, I have not had Terramana. I drink Real Maine's beer. Bud
Oh,
Light.
the Terramana, it'll cure you right up. No matter what your ailment is, it'll cure you, the Terramana.
You just take a little bit, you put it on your arm. More tussin? More
It's better
mana?
than the tussin. It's better than that, y'all.
I'm learning. AEW Dynamite tonight. Live from Calgary, Alberta. Pregnant pause. Canada.
8 p.m. Eastern, only on TBS.
Or if you're in Canada, it's on TSN.
Watch the Big Bang Theory right before AEW Dynamite. See what old Sheldon Cooper is up to. That old Sheldon Cooper, he always getting into some nonsense. That's a funny show, y'all. You should watch the Big Bang Theory with Sheldon Cooper.
Now, hold on. Now we have to pull it back from that. Why are you, a cowboy who clearly doesn't watch this show, telling people to watch the show? You've completely lost the plot here.
Everybody watches the Big Bang Theory. Big Bang Theory, universal. Cowboys, Indians, spacemen, doctors, medical units, firemen, all of them, man. All of them love the Sheldon Cooper.
You know why they love him? They love him because he's from Texas. And everybody loves a boy from Texas. So I get it.
We all love the good old country boys from Texas.
That's right. So that's why you should tune in tonight and watch Big Bang Theory. Only on TBS.
7:30 p.m. Eastern.
Actually, it starts at 4 p.m. You just watch through the whole day.
Look at that. You can watch all of the Big Bang Theory.
Literally all of it. All right. Well, we did our thing. We have anything to plug?
Our whole universe was in a hot dance.
That's a Canadian band. Shout out to Bare Naked Ladies. One of my favorite
Sad that I know
bands.
the theme song to that show.
Trust me, everyone knows the theme to that song. Do we have anything to plug before we get out of here?
No, I don't know.
Wonderful. We'll be back on Friday. What will we be doing? Who knows? We have some people to follow up with. Some messages to send.
Oh.
We're going to have big bangs and glory 4 ways. Till then, I am Actual Pearl. JOELPEARL. Ladies and gentlemen, friends beyond the binary, go get your glory today. Just make sure it's not in the hole. Haktua, good night.
Or do that. I mean,
that's true. We'll see you in the next one. Cheers.